Shalom Yisrael, I want to start off Salisbury giving no praise to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, Bashem Kakodash, that belongs to the Apostle, Great Millstone, and honors to brothers doing the work of the Most High in truth and in sincerity. Yahweh, that's the raw name of whom the world ignorantly calls God, Jehovah, Yahweh. His raw name is Yahweh, and when we pray Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. Ba meaning in, her meaning the, Sham meaning name. Right, so Yahweh in the name of Yahushai. It's a quote that I kind of heard. I heard it phrased quite, slightly differently, but it can still be used. This is from Confucius, as a Chinese philosopher, if you will. It basically says this: if one should desire to know whether a kingdom is well governed, if its morals are good or bad, the quality of its music will furnish the answer. Right, and I heard like I said, a if you will, bastardization of this one on the Netflix program explained when it was doing country music, right? And hey, if you hey, first things first, you see that, and you think about the music that Jake basically puts out there, man. A lot of degenerate stuff, but to get further into that, who is the one that is in charge of all of these record labels that is behind the pushing of all of that media? And it's right? Because wants to push that agenda out, on all the people, right? And as such, we can draw the conclusion that this is a kingdom that's finished, that is of what do you call it? In a kingdom in decline, if you will, right? And the point there about whether a kingdom is well governed, what made me think about this is Sirach 10 and 1 says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. Right, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the rule of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. Okay, so because is a certain kind of individual, right, he wants to basically push this degeneracy out on the rest of, the people. This is Habakkuk 2 and 4, actually. Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright. And this is referencing, this half of the scripture, referencing, these devils, right? His soul isn't lifted up, right? He's not upright. He's off. All right, he is the wicked, right? But and it continues to say, but the just shall live by his faith. Okay, so now that's referring to Israel, and right now very much the elect. Okay, and in fact, because it actually lines up, we can actually read a few verses in Habakkuk 2, right? Verse 5, for example. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, right? And that wine is philosophies. And one of the ways there's a similar verse further down as well. But one of the ways he pushes his philosophies is by way of that media machine, right? That music that he pushes out, right? Whether it's I was listening to, because I'm more of a beat man. I like beats that have a particular pattern. That's just what's pleasant to my ears, right? But every now and then I will actually listen to the lyrics, and then you're trying to enjoy the track, and then it's just whether it's he don't love you like I can, or even would you call these chicks will be like, oh yeah, and then I kissed her or whatever, what have you, or you had that Katy Perry song, I kissed the girl, all of that stuff, right? That is basically wine, right? Because that normalizes things that shouldn't be normalized, right? Continuing on, it says, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Right. So yeah, he's a proud man. He's the proudest. Hey, this man is proud, man. From time you're thinking about fighting against the Most High, you're proud. Neither keepeth home. You think about all of the wars that this man has forced, right? Has fought rather. Okay, all of the different bases that he has all over the world in countries where whom he's allied with. Okay, who enlargeth his desires hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. Yeah, because he just keeps on taking and taking and taking and taking. but gathereth unto him all nations. For example, in these metropolis, and heapeth unto him all people, right? So jumping down, right, verse 15, I believe, right, it says, woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, right? And once again, this drink is representing these philosophies, okay, that this man has. Do we have it there? No, okay, I'll get it. This is Isaiah 29 and 16. No, it's not what I want. Where is it? Drink. Stagger, that's it. Isaiah 29 and 9, yeah. Stay yourselves and wonder, cry ye out and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink, right? All of these different philosophies and, this, that, and the other. This is, showing, just goes into something else there, but it's basically showing you that, when it speaks about wine and things like that, it's not always talking about, the literally the thing that you drink, okay? Right, that it goes into philosophies also. Right, so yeah, let me read that again. Habakkuk 2:15, to him that giveth his neighbor drink, that puttest thy bottle to him and makes him drunk, and also that thou mayest look on their nakedness. Right, so this is so this is what it is. And once again, one of the ways that this man pushes his philosophies to the world is by way of his music, right? And in that, we're able to see that this is a degenerate kingdom, right? This is Obadiah, right? It says, yeah, this is Obadiah 1 and 4, says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, right? What's this man's symbol? He likes using that eagle. It says, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, right? So when this man went into the heavens, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Right, and you had that mission 1969, round about that era. That's when America really started falling, started declining spiritually, morally, right? Because you had certain things that were previously unacceptable, to put on the mainstream, right? Whether it was two women kissing, two men kissing, even just holding hands, whatever, what have you. There were certain things that were deemed unacceptable. You look at television, how women were dressed. I remember seeing something years ago, right, about how prostitutes were portrayed in television, maybe I think it was maybe in the 90s or early 2000s, versus how children were dressed in like Nickelodeon TV shows. And the prostitutes in the 90s had more clothes on than the children in the what do you call it, in the more modern television programs, right? Which just shows you the degenerating, but yeah, basically it just shows you the fact that this kingdom is breaking down more and more morally. Okay. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting quote there. Um, yeah, if one should desire to know whether a kingdom is well governed, if its morals are good or bad, the quality of its music will furnish the answer. Right now, Apostle Bar is always speaking on the music and the lack of quality that you have in music these days. But yeah, as always, Lord's will, that was edifying. Till next time we say Shalom.